Good day everyone. Today I will going to discuss to you some applications of functions. So real life applications, mga word problems that relates to the functions that I have discussed to you from the previous lesson in this module. So the first one is some word problems relating to the quadratic function. The next one is relating to cubic function. The third is relating to division of polynomials, and lastly relating to the rational function. So let's start with an application on quadratic function. So I hope you already know the behavior and the characteristics of a quadratic function. So here we have an example problem for quadratic function. So it is stated that a backyard farmer wants to enclose a rectangular space for a new garden within her fenced backyard. So she has purchased 800 feet of wire fencing to enclose 3 sides, and she will use a section of the backyard fence as the 4th side. And then ang goal niya here, so it is not stated in the problem here, but the goal here is to have a maximum area of his new garden. Okay, of his new garden. Mo ni ang goal ani nga problem. So unsa may limitation dai niini? In the limitation of this problem, tungod kay the backyard farmer wants to have a maximum area, and he cannot do that like infinitely because his limitation is the fence. The length of the fence, ang corral, okay, up to 800 feet only. So dapat iyan i-utilize ng 800 feet so that it can output a maximum area for his new garden. So what we need to do first is, syempre, we are going to illustrate the problem and then write all the given. So we have here figure and data. So the backyard farmer daw has already a rectangular space, of course, on the back side of his house. So let's say this is the existing rectangular space, and then of course this rectangular space has already a fence because it is stated here kani siya nga linya within her fenced backyard, meaning nana ni siya fence. So kani siya nakakoral na pud ni. So nakakoral na, and then she has purchased 800 feet of wire fencing to enclose the 3 sides, and she will use a section of the backyard fence as the 4th side. So, diba, as you already know, a rectangle has 4 sides. So, one side of it is is located on the one side of the rectangular space. Kaya man siya, iyang gigamit ang coral sa iyang rectangular space for the one side of his new garden. So let's say this is his new garden. So kani siya nga area. So kaning hidden lines, nagpasabot na siya nga wala pa na siya fence. So mao pa na ang atong plano. Now for a rectangle, of course, it has length, and then this one is the width. Okay. So, mo ni iyahang plano kani siya. Mo na siya ang ato ang new garden. The new garden. Okay. So, the other length of the new garden has already a fence. So, no need to worry na. Only these 3 remaining sides should be equal to 800 feet. So, the sum of these 3 remaining sides should be equal to 800 feet. Okay, so what is the required for this problem? So required is we are going to find syempre the dimension, the length and the width of this new garden. Okay, let's proceed to the solution. So how are we going to find the length and the width of this new garden in order to have a maximum area? Of course, for the 800 feet nga perimeter for the three sides, syempre there are a lot of combinations gid ani class. We have a lot of combinations for our length and width, but we must choose the perfect combination that would produce a maximum area for his new garden. Okay, for the solution, of course, we need to formulate some equations here based on the condition. So we all know that the length of the three sides should be equal to the length of the backyard farmers existing wire fencing. So ang iyahang existing wire fencing is equal to 800 feet. So 800 is equal to the length plus the two widths here. So that is length plus 2w. So we can write the length in terms of the width, that is length is equal to 800 minus twice the width. Okay, these are our equations for the first condition. So let's say these are our equation 1. After that one, since our second goal is to maximize the area, right? We are going to maximize the area. Okay, in maximizing the area, we need to have an equation. So how can we find the equation of a rectangle? Okay, by using the area of the rectangle. So area of the rectangle is equal to, that is length times the width. Now since we already have an equation for the length in terms of width, now we can substitute this one directly. So that is the length is 800 minus twice the width multiplied by the width. Now if we're going to simplify this, that is area is equals to 800 w minus 2w squared. Now if we're going to rearrange this one in decreasing order of the exponent, that is negative 2w squared plus 800w. Okay, unsa man na-generate nga equation? The equation now is a quadratic function, that is the area as a function of w is equal to negative 2w squared plus 800w. Now if this is a quadratic function, what is the behavior? Diba? For a quadratic function, na siya gitawag nga vertex. Okay, we are going to plot this class so that you can visualize kung sa mga gamit aning mga parameters nga area and the width, so that we can also interpret this graph or this function. So let's say when we graph this by using the online calculator, we can just say that area, that is y na lang, o niya ang w auto po siya is substitute as x. Anyways, same lang yapon na siya, that is negative 2x squared plus 800x. So this one we can plot this, so we can plot this online graphing calculator. Okay, so atay plot na siya. So ato ta sa Desmos. So Desmos ta. So here we have negative 2 raised to x 2x squared plus 800x. Okay, as you notice class, kung ato zoom out, So as you can see here, medyo dako siya. Now let's go back to our equation right here. Okay, that is negative 2x squared plus 800 w. So in our base in our graph, this one. So I think we can zoom this out, zoom fit. We're going to fit this. So medyo nara class. I think inyo nakita. So here it creates a parabola. So as you can see, for a parabola class, the equation opens downward. Why? Because we have a negative on the leading term. So again, just a review, if we have a negative on the leading term, meaning the quadratic function opens downward. And this highest peak here, it indicates that that is the maximum value of our y. And what is our y again from our problem? That is equal to the area. So if we're going to interpret this, that one, meaning this is the maximum area. Okay? And then diba, take note nga mo na atong goal to have a maximum area, because the points below this vertex, so ikuan ha. Okay, sorry, tala balik og input. Y equals negative 2x squared plus 800 x. Okay, siya. So kato kitaon, this is the vertex 280,000. So x is 200 and then our y is 80,000. Then ang points ari sa ubos, so mo na siya ang mga points nga kuana, gamay na ang area. Gamay na ang area sa ato ang kanang rectangle. So mo na siya ang pinaka maximum area nga ato lang ma-attain. That is kuan 280,000. And then we can also solve that one by using the formula for the vertex. So, diba? If you don't have any graphing calculator, then you can solve for the vertex so that you can get the maximum kanang area. So since ang ipangita man nato diri is the maximum value of our kuan, maximum value of our area, then we can solve that by using the vertex. Okay, the vertex we have h and k, right? Vertex h and k. So our h here corresponds to our w, and our k here, which is our y, corresponds to our area. So let's start with the maximum value of the area. Okay, we are going to use k, which is equal to, that is c minus b squared all over 4a, right? So since ato man siya gi-converting area w into since this area w is in quadratic function, do you remember the parts of a quadratic function is, that is y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, since ato i-convert si a into y, then si w into x, then we can say that negative 2 is the value of our a, 800 is the value of our b, but c, we don't have c because we don't have a constant here. So therefore we can substitute directly. This is 0 minus our b here is 800, so that is 800 squared all over 4 times a. What is our a? That is negative 2. Okay, then simplifying, so that is 800 squared multiplied by 4 times 2, so the answer is 80,000. So area niya is 80,000, so put here 80,000. 80,000 square feet kasi in feet maning mga feet magunin siyang kuan. Feet mani ang 800 in feet. So therefore K here, this K is just equal to the maximum area, which is 800 feet. So mana ang maximum area since ang atong function sa area in terms of W is a quadratic function. Now if we're going to solve for the value of our kanang kuan width, which is W, now ato na siya i-evaluate also at the vertex, because at that point natay maximum area. Of course, at that maximum area there is also a value that corresponds to our width. So we're going to solve for the W at the maximum area. So gamit ra gihapon ta sa Vertex formula. So that is for H. So remember, H is equals to negative B all over 2A. Negative B all over 2A. And from here, we already know na si B is 800. So that is negative 800 all over 2 times A is negative 2. So that is 800 divided by 4. So that's 800 divided by 4. That is 200. So this one is 200. So 200 feet is the dimension of our width. So this would be our one of our answers. So ang ato lang gipangita is si length. So how can we solve for length? Since we already have W, then we can solve the length. We can solve the length from the equation 1, di ba? From equation 1, so from equation 1, length is defined as the difference of 800 and twice the width. 800 and twice the width. So that is 800 minus 2 times 200. Therefore, the length is 800 minus 400. That is equals to 400. 400 feet. So therefore our dimension, so the dimension of our garden, our new garden, is we have a length of 400 feet and we have a width of 200 feet. Okay, muna siya in order to have a maximum area of 80,000. So again, if we have if we can arrive a quadratic function sa atong problem, then we can use directly sa behavior sa atong quadratic function. So again, kung ang goal kay giingon nga to have a maximum area, then automatic nana siya sa vertex. So mo nang we gamit adri, we're using the formulas for our vertex so that we can get the value of the maximum area. And then syempre kung naadra ang value sa maximum area, automatic mao po nay corresponding value sa atong mga dimensions for width. So don't forget yun sa formulas for the vertex, kay that is very important, especially in dealing with problems applied in quadratic function. So muna to, gamitin ra po ang equation man so that you can solve for the values of the other dimensions. So again, verifying that one in our online calculator. So here naagi diri our vertex is 200, so ang 200 here is our width W, and then the 80,000 is our maximum area. So kung ato siya i-multiply ang duha class, if we're going to multiply this 400 feet and the width of 200, so 400 times 200, the result is 80,000. So the same sa ato nakitaan sa graph, or the same sa kanitong na compute nga 80,000 square feet. So kana siya. Okay, so that is how you are going to answer uh, this type of problem relating to quadratic function. So again, don't forget to draw the problem, and then don't forget to write the given and also the data, the important data. Let's proceed to the next example. So here you have the unit price of an item affects its supply and demand. So that is, if the unit price goes up, the demand for the item will usually decrease. For example, a local newspaper currently has 84,000 subscribers at a quarterly charge of $30. Market research has suggested that if the owners raise the price to $32, they would lose 5,000 subscribers. So assuming that subscriptions are linearly related to the price, what price should the newspaper charge for a quarterly subscription to maximize their revenue? So here what is asked in the problem is the revenue. Now, dira po ta mag-base. But before that, we're going to visualize the problem. So the problem here is, since this is all about money and business, then we can just write some type of diagram. So assuming that this is the interpretation of this problem. So ang kayda ko ng company is nasa like kanang initial plan. Let's say this is plan A. So ang plan A nila is currently they have 84,000, right? So 84,000, and then ang ilang gi-charge for their newspaper, since nag-sell na sila newspaper, is $30 per subscriber. So kaning 84,000 mo na sila mga subscribers o mga customers nga mo palit sa ilang newspaper. And then sa ilang marketing strategy, they found out na if they are going to increase the cost per newspaper to 32, they would may banan sila og 5,000 subscribers. So from plan A to plan B na ay minus 5,000 subscribers. So unsa lay maabot sa plan B? That is equal to 79,000 subscriber na lang, tungod kay maminusan mo daw kuno if they do this type of plan. So gingan po rin ang condition, assuming that the subscriptions are linearly related to the price. So we are going to interpret this. So since the relationship between this plan A and plan B kay linear man daw no, so we can say that we can treat this as 2 points, right? So makangenta nga we are going to let X as the price of the newspapers, that is 30, and then the value of Y is the subscribers, 84,000. Then for plan B also, we can let 32 as X and then 79,000 as Y. Okay, so we can create a linear function from this, di ba? Kay linear man ang relationship sa price o sa subscriber or sa ang subscription. So therefore, since we have two points, so I hope you can remember in your kanang koan geometry nga problem. So sa tag solution, and then ato para isuwat ang koan requirement. So ang required for this problem is we're going to determine the price. So we're going to determine the price. So ato sa ano siya repeat as P. This is the price. Then syempre kung ano nga mga problems class nagatay goal. So the goal is for a price at maximum revenue. So at maximum revenue. Okay, we can also denote revenue as R. R na lang. So unsay revenue mo na ang inyohang halin. So revenue is different from income or gain, a profit. So revenue is different from profit, kay ang profit kay naiba naman na sa kuan, naiba naman na sa costs. Ang revenue is just the kanang sales ninyo, ang inyong na halin. lain man na sa nakita. Okay, so solution, of course, we're going to interpret the conditions that are present in the problem. So, ang unang condition mo na to, atong nag-draw kaning plan A and plan B. The next is, ingon man siya nga, from these conditions, assuming that subscriptions are linearly related to the price, so, dapat mangita ta og kanang kuan relationship pa nila. Since we have 2 points, so 30,84,000 and then 32,79,000, meaning if we're going to plot subscribers with respect to the price. This is price per subscriber ha. Price of a newspaper. Okay, price of a newspaper na siya. Okay, so naay linear relationship nga na kuan na exist. So therefore we can use the formula for solving the equation of a line using 2 points. So I hope nakaramdam aning y minus y sub 1 is equals to the slope m times x minus x sub 1, right? Then for the slope, that is just the change in y. So ang y na today is the subscription. That is we have y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 multiplied by x minus x sub 1, then this one y minus y sub 1. So it's up to you on whether which of them will you choose as the first point or the second point. So it's up to you, class. So here let's say this is our first point and this is our second point. So our y sub 1 would be 84,000. That is y minus 84,000 is equals to our y sub 2 is 79,000. That is 79,000 minus 84,000 all over x sub 2 is 32 minus x sub 1 30. Then x minus x sub 1 is 30. Okay, simplifying the slope, it is y minus 84,000 is equals to 79 minus 84, that is negative 5,000 divided by 2 times x minus 30. Then we can also multiply both sides by 2 so that we can eliminate fraction. So this one will equal to 2y minus 84,000 times 2, that is 168,000. 168,000 is equal to negative 500, negative 5,000x plus, so distribute na lang po din siya. Distribute, that is 5,000 times 30, the answer is 150,000. So plus 150,000. Then combining or isolating all the terms on the left side. So we have here 5,000x plus 2y, then ang 1,500 ma-transpo sa pikas, ma-negative na po, that is ma-plus siya sa 168. So the total the final answer is 31, that is minus 318 is equals to 0. Okay, so nanotay linear equation. Now if we're going to write this in terms of y, so in terms of y, that is just equal to y is equals to 5,000 divided by 2 is 2,500, so that is just equal to y equals to negative 2,500 x, then plus 2,500 times 30 equals 75,000, that is plus 75,000, then ang kaning negativity for mabalhin, that is plus 84,000. So y is equals to negative 25 paano siya, 2,500x, then plus 75 plus 84,000, the answer is 159,000. It is plus 159,000. 1000. So this is a linear function because as a function of y. Now, para dito maglibog, so ato ilad diri butang pa let y be the number of subscription or mga subscribers, and then x would be the price of the newspaper. So para ma-uniform ta, ang price na nandiri is x na lang. So x. Okay, let y the number of subscriptions, x is the price. So since we already have this linear function, then the second condition is, or the last condition is, on the last statement, what price should the newspaper charge for a quarterly subscription to maximize the revenue? So dapat our revenue should be maximized. So dapat kung magkuha ta og maximum value for our revenue, of course we should have first the formula for the revenue. So manay una to bahatan, dapat nasa tay formula for revenue. So here, solving for the formula for revenue R. So sama na nato. So again, since revenue is defined as the total sales, so therefore let's just multiply the price x multiplied by the number of the number of subscriptions. Since ang number of subscriptions, sila man po'y magpalit og mga kanang local newspapers. Okay, so sila man po. So therefore we just simply multiply x and y, right? So simply multiply x and y, okay, para makatag revenue sa atong mga subscriptions. But we all know the value of y here. Y is just the linear function, right? So we can just substitute that one directly. That is x multiplied by negative 2,500x plus 159,000. Then distribute this, so that is negative 2,500x squared plus 159,000x. Again, this is a quadratic function. So atarpod kita ng behavior na ini. Since we have a negative sign on the leading terms, this is a parabola or a quadratic that opens downward, diba? Downward na siya. Now for a parabola that opens downward, let's say if you have this, and then since we have x and y, wherein our y is the subscription, so butang 3. Okay, sorry. Let me erase. So since our y is our subscription, so na siya diri. So si y, then si x. Okay. At the tip of our quadratic function, so that is our vertex, which is also the maximum value of our y. So since our goal is to maximize the revenue, so to maximize the revenue, okay, ang naaday sa y-axis diri is not y anymore, that is r day. Kay ang resulting quadratic function kaning qf is a function of rx ba, di ba? Rx. So r now is our revenue r, and then this is x. So okay na. So again, the vertex is the maximum value of our revenue. So igo siya sa atong goal nga to have a maximum revenue. So therefore we need to find the value of our r here, and also the corresponding value for our x. Para kung makuha ta sa value sa atong x, then therefore that is our answer, because the required here is the price of the newspaper at maximum revenue. Okay, so balik na pud ta sa formula on how to solve for the vertex. So again, we have this quadratic function nga na generate, that is negative 2,500 x squared plus 159,000x. Now if we're going to write this in this way, that is Rx is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, we can say that a is equals to negative 2,500, b is equals to 159,000, and then c equals 0. Okay, in order to solve for the maximum revenue, so that is r is equals to the k, right? Since si k corresponds to the vertical axis or the y-axis. Since ang variable nga naka-designate sa y-axis kay revenue man, so r na siya. R is equals to k, which is equal to c minus b squared all over 4a. C is 0, so we have 0 minus b squared, so square of b, that is 159,000 squared, all over 4 times a is negative 2,500. So ang answer ani is positive yun, kaya naman the negative o negative, so positive, that is 159,000 squared divided by 4 times 2,500. So the resulting answer is a very large number, that is in dollar 2,528,100. So that is the maximum revenue mo nilang maximum nga makita sa ilang mga plano-plano. Okay, how about for the price at the maximum revenue? So that is just the x, which is equal to the h para sa vertex, diba? Kaya sa vertex mo nag-analyze ni ini. So the h is just negative b all over 2a, which is equal to the negative of b is negative 159,000 all over 2 times the a is negative 2,500. So the answer is 159,123 divided by 2 times 2,500. The answer is 31.8. So in dollars, I mean, yes, this is in dollars. So the price is 31.8 per newspaper. So therefore, dapat di ay ilamang kung plano kay ibaba dayon, di ba? Increase dayon from 30 to 32, ila din gi-increase. So maiba lang sila negative, maiba lang sila favorite subscribers, but sa ilang pag-analyze class, pwede sila maka-increase, but not so much nga di na sila makaganansya. So more ni ilang dapat ma-increase para nagyapon sila yung maximum nga ganansya kaning 31.8. kay if they increase up to 32, then as you notice may iba na sa subscribers, then mugamay na pud ang revenue. Okay, now to prove this, okay, let's plot this quadratic function ng ato na generate kani siya. So we're going to plot this kaning r of x equals to negative 2,500x squared plus 159,000x. Now ato lang pulihan si r of x as y, ngito na sa online. So from the online calculator, this is negative 2,500x, then plus this one is 159,000x. Okay, kung ato siya ikuan table nato, okay, na siya. As you've noticed, nara iya peak, di ba? It is a parabola that opens downward. Then this is the peak here. So the peak, as you've noticed, or kung ato i-zoom out, the peak is 31.8 and 2,528,100. So, di ba? Mao man ang mga values nga ato nakuha for the revenue and the price. So therefore, correct ang ato ang solution. So man ang peak because kung mukuan sila, kung mairog pa sila, so kung mairog mo sila class, meaning mubaba ng revenue. So mubaba ng revenue. So therefore, para maka-maximize gyapon sa revenue, then stick to the vertex. Okay? Because that is the maximum value for our revenue. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. Still the application of the quadratic function gyapon ta diri. So here we have a small local soft drink manufacturer has daily production cost of C equal to 70,000 minus 120x plus 0.075x squared, where C is the total cost and x is the number of units produced. How many units should be produced each day to yield a minimum cost? So again, we're going to initialize sa mga kuan. We're going to initialize the variables. So C is the cost, mo ni ang bayranan, then x would be the number of units produced. So number of units, and then of course we have a given function that relates the cost and the number of units of soft drinks. So that is C is equals to 70,000 minus 120x plus 0.075x squared. So the given is a quadratic function because the degree is 2. Okay, what is required? What is required here is how many units daw should be produced each day to yield a minimum cost. So pila daw kuno ka x ang i-produce. So this is the unit of the soft drink at to produce each day to yield a minimum cost at lower cost. Okay, lower cost. From the previous nga atong mga examples, ang ilang goal dito is to maximize. Diri syempre tungod kay nag-deal man ta gasto, so atong goal ani is di kita pwede magasto. So dapat babaan pud ato gasto. So manang lower cost na padari. So at a minimum cost or lower cost. The lower cost is syempre the C. Okay, solution. Okay, we're going to use the quadratic function na nasa given. So rearranging that one from descending order of the exponent of the variable, so magkuna si x squared. So 0.075x squared, the leading term. Sunod sa middle term, minus 120x and plus 70,000. Okay, kaniya quadratic function, since the leading term has a positive sign, so therefore this is a parabola or a quadratic that opens upward, right? Opens upward. Okay, kung inyo ma-remember, ang graph sa parabola that opens upward would look like this. Okay, as you notice, ang vertex na po niya kay na nasa ubos. So unsay pasabot if the vertex nasa ubos? So therefore this is the lowest or the minimum value of whatever y variable we have. So unsa may variable nga nasa y-axis, that is the cost. What is on the x-axis? Syempre si x ra gyapon. X is the number of units. So therefore, on the graph, this is the minimum value of our cost. So na tay hint kay ang atong goal man kay to have a minimum value. So therefore di ay ato day pangitaon ng x ana at that point nga kanang point kay nag minimum value si c. So therefore that is just the vertex of our quadratic function. Now solving for x at c minimum, so use the vertex formula. So using the vertex formula, so diba, remember vertex is represented by h and k. So k corresponds to our minimum value of our cost. So k is equals to the c minimum, which is equal to c minus b squared all over 4a. So again, ato ni i-rearrange from that unsa may atong c. Di na nato i-rearrange kay makita ba nato directly. Ang c is the constant, which is 70,000. So right here 70,000 minus our b is negative 120, so negative 120 squared all over 4 times the a is 0.075. Okay, 0.075. Then simplifying this, the minimum cost di sa kumpanya is 70,000 minus 120 squared. So positive na siya. 4 times 0.075. So the answer here is 22,000. So therefore, more na ilang cost. Mula man gibutang no kung peso ba siya or dili. So let's say siya na ito nga in peso na lang. So that is 22,000 pesos. So this is 22,000. Mo na ang ato ang minimum cost. But the requirement here is the number of units nga ilahang ma-produce para maka-yield sila og kuan gamay nga gasto. So therefore that is the x or the h. So h is equals to the x, which is equal to negative b all over 2a. So it is equal to negative times negative 120 all over 2 times 0.075. So that is equal to 120 divided by 2 times 0.075. That is equal to 800. So dapat ang company should sell 800 units of kanang kuan soft drinks para maka arrive sila or maka-achieve sila og kanang lower or minimum costs. So therefore this is our answer, x units, that is 800 units. Now ato ni siya i-verify by plotting our quadratic function nga ato na generate based sa given. So kani 70,000 daw minus 120 plus 0.075. So ato i-graph by using this Desmos ng function, a Desmos nga online graphing calculator. So f of x is equals to 0.075 x squared, then minus 120x, then plus 700 at balik og tanaw 70,000 70,000. So 70,000. Okay, after i-zoom out, okay, this is the graph of our quadratic function. So as you can see, this is a parabola that opens upward. So ato kitawan ang vertex niya pinaka lowest peak. So I think na siya diri. So I zoom out na to, this one. So man siya yung vertex. As you can see, that is the x, which is our number of units, that is 800. So correcta. And then ang yang corresponding value sa y, which in our problem is the cost c. So that is 22,000. So that is the minimum or the lowest cost nga ma-achieve sa company. So therefore ang atong solution is correct. Now mostly magud sa mga quadratic mostly magud sa mga problems nga na-apply ang quadratic function, ang ilagid anang kanon focus kay ang sa vertex, because that would tell the maximum or the minimum value of a certain parameter. Okay, so if wala na question ani, then let's proceed to the last problem for our quadratic function. So this is a digit problem. So here the question is, find the two real numbers when their sum is 110 whose product is a maximum. Okay, so in this problem good, medyo naani tricky, since you can have a lot of combinations of numbers that or real numbers that would result to 110, but naram ko tayo limitation. The limitation is ang product daw dapat sa duha kay maximum or dako. So sa tanang combinations kay ngayong mahunaan god, pili ang kanang maximum nga product adto. But if you do it manually, then maugmaan jud ka. So ang pinaka easiest way is we are going to use the principles that we have tackled from this module, which is all about quadratic function. So here we are going to let some values or some variables. So let's say I'm going to let x as the first real number. Okay, duha man ni ka real number ato and then y is the second real number. Okay, ang required nato is of course the two number x and y. Of course natay goal at maximum product of x and y, that is xy, diba? Kanang xy, the product of x and y, dapat maximum na siya. Maximum product xy max. Okay, solution. Now in solving this, so be sure to write the conditions that are stated on the problem. So ang condition nini is ingon daw that the sum of the two real numbers is 110. So right here, x plus y is equals to 110. So we can say that y is equals to 110 minus x, or in other words, x is equals to 110 minus y. So this is our equation 1. Now the second condition is whose product is a maximum daw. So therefore we can say that x times y is equals to the product. We just denote this as p, and this should be a maximum. So butan diri p max, that represents the maximum product. Okay, now in order to solve for the p max, of course we are going to have a final equation in terms of one variable alone, not x and y. So since from equation 1 we have a value for our y in terms of x, so we can just substitute this one directly to our second condition, that is x times 110 minus x. So distributing this one, this would make 110x minus x squared. So as you notice, we can say that p max is a function of x, or a function of the first number. So we can just say here that p of x is equals to rearranging, that is negative x squared plus 110x. So this is now a quadratic function. So again, application gyapon siya sa quadratic function. So as you've noticed, since the leading term is negative, so we can say that this is a parabola that opens downward. Okay, pa downward ni siya. Katong kitaan sa iyang ma-generate nga kanang figure. So that is negative, so open siya downward. So since atong goal is to have a product, to have a maximum product, so therefore we're talking about the vertex of this parabola. So dira magud ang p max, because the graph is in terms of the product and the first real number x. So ngadto na pud ang atong napod concern is ang vertex na pud in order to solve for the p max. So to solve for p max, use k, katong k as one of the points on the vertex. So k is just, okay, p max is just equal to k, wherein k is equals to c minus b squared all over 4a. So take note, again, the derivation for this formula is from lesson 2. So was from lesson 2, so you can watch my video for lesson 2 for module 7. So here we know that from our quadratic function, the value of our c is 0. Okay, we don't have any constant here. Then minus b is 110, that is 110 squared, all over 4 times our a is negative 1, so negative 1. So that is equal to 110 squared. So 110 squared divided by 4 times 1, or 4. The answer is 3025. So 3025. Mo na siya ang maximum product sa duha ka real numbers x and y. So in order to solve for y, syempre, or x I mean, syempre in order to solve for x, you're going to look for the value of x at the vertex. So what is the value of x at the vertex? That is just equal to the h, wherein h equals to negative b all over a. So substituting the values, that is negative 110 all over 2 times a is negative 1. So the answer is just 1/2 of 110. So half of 110 is 55, a positive number. So therefore, ang usa sa mga numbers kay 55, while the other is just 110 minus 55. So y is equals to 110 minus 55. The answer is 110 minus 55 is 55. So therefore, the two real numbers are the same, 55, 55. That is x is equals to y is equals to 55. Okay, we can also prove this by manual method. Let's say, how about we are going to increase one number by 1. Let's say 56 and then ang usa kay 54. Diba? Ang answer nga po nila is 110. But are you sure kung ang product sa 56 and 54 kay mas higher pa sa maximum product sa 55 kani sila? So dili, tungod kay ang 56 times 54 will yield to 3024 only, even if we have 57 and 53. Same right po ng story. Ang answer is 3021. So therefore, ang two numbers di ay para maka-yield sila og maximum product, and then dapat ilang sample is 110, so they must be the same and they must equal to 55. So x equals to y equals to 55. We can also verify this by plotting our quadratic function online. So online calculator, so that is negative, again sa to siya, negative x squared plus 110. Okay, so negative x squared plus 110. So yun yung makita mana siya. We're going to zoom this, okay, nara ito zoom, ito ipan, so nara siya class. So you notice that is 0, okay, I'm so sorry, I forgot to put here x. Okay, nara ito na po i-zoom out. Okay, nara negative x squared plus 110x na siya. So ito i-zoom out somewhere here. So nara siya diri. So kato i-pislet mo na siyang quad, that is 55 and 3025. So that is the maximum product nga atong ma-achieve, and then the numbers should be equal. So 55 dapat sila. So 55 times 5 man gud kay 3025. So nga class, mo na ang answer for our example for quadratic function. So since we are already do with quadratic function, then let's try solving cubic functions. So for to solve for kanang cubic function class, dapat natay understanding sa graph sa cubic function, because ang cubic function, unlike quadratic function, is na siya'y duha ka characteristics. Sa single nga graph. Okay, the graph of a cubic function would look like this, class. Na siya'y mo rise siya, then mo down siya, then mo up na pod. So as you've noticed, natay duha ka mga points, importante nga points, this point here and this point here. So therefore, for a single graph, na siya'y maximum value at na pod siya'y minimum value. Unlike with the quadratic function nga, for a single graph, naaran siya'y usara maximum value, and then sa lain na pod mo change ra pod ang sign, minimum value. Whereas kung cubic function class, since this is the form of the cubic function, so for a single function, na siya duha ka characteristic, na siya maximum value sa iyang y, since this is y, this is x, and also the minimum value of y. Then syempre na po na siya corresponding value sa iyang x dira. Now ato magtry tag usa ka example, then ato siya i-graph sa ato ang online nga graphing calculator. So balik ta sa online graphing calculator. Let's say mag-input ta og cubic function, that is x cube plus 3x plus 1. If we're going to zoom this at a zoom out, okay, layo jud kay ni siya. So ato lang ni ikuan. Okay na ra. As you notice, dili pa kayo makitaan nga naa siyay maximum minimum, but if we're going to add this, let's say we have plus 2x squared plus 3x. So di paghapon, or how about kung x cube lang? Okay. Nakas kini nabantayan. So di lang kani makita na atay kaning may curve array. So I think if ato butangan og x minus 1 cube minus 2x, okay na dai. Kani siya obvious na gid nga ito makita. Now sa cubic function, usa ni sa mo occur ngani nga situation. So here natay maximum point. So as you can see, this one is the maximum point of our kanang kuan, maximum point of our cubic function before pa siya mo decrease. Of course, kay ba man ta nga ang maximum value niya kay infinity pagid kidi ba nga to. But ang definition diri is mo siya ang maximum value sa iyang y bago pa siya mo change og sign, bago ba siya mo decrease. The same thing with this, mo na siya ang minimum value sa iyang y bago siya mo change from decreasing to increasing. Okay, so mo na siya maxima o minima. And I think ang further discussion ini is masud ni siya sa topic in calculus. So balik na ta sa ato ang kuan, itong problem. So here, this is all about maximum volume. So we have here an open box is to be made from a square piece of material 36 inches on a side by cutting equal squares with sides of length x from the corners and turning up the sides so that we can create this as shown in the figure. So tangtangon din siya. So kana akong ikuluran karon kani siya, ikat ni siya and then fill on para maka-create og open nga box nga walay takob. So again, gingon ta nga ang dimension sa ato ang paghimo sa box is this one is 36. That's why we have this dimension for the figure. The sides is x. Syempre ang sud nga side kay 36 minus 2x ni siya kay both sides kay mag-cut man tag x. Therefore ang middle side na is 36 minus 2x. So the first requirement is we're going to create a function with the volume of a box as a function of its height x. Okay. For letter A, we're going to create a function. So how are we going to create that one? So syempre we need to relate the x with the volume of the box. So what is the volume of the box? So for a box that is in a shape of a rectangular prism. So recall sa volume for rectangular prism, that is just this one. This is the length, and also this one is the width. So since this is a box or square ni siya, square man siya, so therefore the length is just equal sa width, or we can denote it as s. S na siya, the side and the side. So therefore we have the volume is just the square of the side, s squared kay duha man, length times width times the height is x, diba? X. And what is the value for our side? So mo ni siya kaning 36 minus 2x kay diba mo man ang ubos. So therefore s is equals to 36 minus 2x. Ato na i-plug in, that is 36 minus 2x squared pa gyud times x. Now simplifying this, so we have kani siya, so that is 36 squared, diba? 36 squared is 1296. So we have here 1296 minus 2 times 36 times 2, that is 144. So minus 144x plus 4x squared, then multiplied by x, then distributing the x, so that would equal to 4x cubed minus 144x squared plus 1296x. So this is now the answer for letter A, because we already create a function of the volume in terms of the height x, so that is v of x. So this function is a cubic function. Why? Because the degree is 3, so CF, abbreviated as CF. And the next requirement is we're going to find the height of the box that would achieve a maximum volume. So solve for H at V max. So same with the quadratic function ng mga problems na siya mga goal. So ang goal here to have a maximum volume ato i-find ang iyang corresponding nga height. So di na dito magsuot diri og H, since na naman tayo abbreviation or na naman tayo gi-denote sa height, which is x. So solve for x at V max. So how are we going to do that? First, of course, since kibaw naman ta nga ang atong function is cubic, so therefore ang quantity class, ang behavior sa cubic function is mo rise siya, then mo down, then mo up na po. So therefore ato pangitawon ang Vmax. So since the y-axis is the volume and then the x-axis is the height x, so therefore kanya itong pangitawon, kaya mo ni ang maximum point, and dira po ang atong Vmax, and then this is the minimum point, so Vmin, so dito po dito. So kanitang Vmax. So how are we going to do that, class, for the Vmax? Actually, you can solve for x here by graphing it manually. I mean by using some graphing calculators, then locate the maximum value by looking at the tip. Kaya mga tips man sila, mga tip mga tumi-tumi ba, mga peak. So naman dyan ang maximum value. But if you don't have graphing calculator, what we have to do here is we apply derivative. So advancing siyang lesson, we take the derivative of our cubic function. So this is just an advanced lesson, but I think sa inyong senior high na po man, so this is just a review or a recap. But for those nga wala pa ani alamag, so follow na lang sa rules nga ko i-discuss area. Okay, since tanang cubic function ma-apply ani nga rule for the derivative. So again, in order to solve for this type of problem, we apply differentiation. So apply differentiation. Anong mag-apply ta og differentiation para makuha ni natong maximum og minimum values sa ato ang Vmax. Okay, applying differentiation. That is the derivative. So what kaning D nga na style, derivative of V with respect to x. So as you notice, unsa ming dv over dx, kung si v si y, si x pud na sa x-axis, so di ba delta y, when we say derivative, that is also written as change in the volume per change in x. So kung natay delta v over delta x, that is just the slope, right? Slope ra na gid siya. So to solve for the slope or the derivative, pareha na sila. So you just multiply the exponent to the coefficient. So multiply ha, mo na yung steps ni ini. So kahit bisan pag wala kay alamag sa differentiation, mo na yung sundon nga steps. Multiply the exponent with the coefficient. So that is 4 times 3 equals 12. So 12x. Then kung nag-multiply na ka, ang rule kay imong ibanan og 1 ay exponent. So if our exponent here is 3, minus 1, that is 2 na lang. Now, second na po ta, that is 144 multiplied by the exponent 2, then x, then 2 minus 1. Atong ibanan ang iya exponent og 1. Plus, same na po diri, 1296 multiplied the exponent is 1, kay x raised to 1 man, then x raised to 1 minus 1. Then, simplifying further, that is 12x squared. Ang kani siya kay 144 times 2, that is negative 288. So, this one is negative 288x na lang, kay 2 minus 1 is 1. Then, plus 1296 na siya times 1. That is 1296. Then, x raised to 0 is 1. So, plus 1296 na lang. So, therefore, pag apply na din natong differentiation, the resulting equation is, this is dv over dx. The resulting equation is quadratic function. Okay? Quadratic function siya. When we say quadratic function, we can arrive two values of our x. So, nga nang two values man, tungod kay kuha na po siya sa atong assumption. Tungod kay ang makuha po nato diri sa iyahang either maximum minimum kay duha pod ka values. Okay, so at the maximum class, unsa may mga conditions at the maximum or at the minimum? Di ba? Ang line diri, ang slope ari, di ba? Kung na ka diri, di ba, ang slope diri kay mga steeper kayo. Kung mga na ka sa maximum, di ba? Ang slope ani kay the line tangent to our curve. Unsa may slope ani? Since ang tangent sa atong curve kay horizontal man siya, so therefore we don't have slope. The slope here is 0. So we can say that dv over dx, which is equal to the slope, is equal to 0, which is equal to 12x squared minus 288x plus 1296. So here, this is a quadratic function. So we're going to solve for the roots of our quadratic function. So you can use completing the squares, katong quadratic formula, or trial and error. But for me, para mas madali ta, use quadratic formula to solve for the values of our x here. So quadratic formula. So our x of 1, if you have there a scientific calculator, so go to the equations, click on the quadratic formula. So 12 minus 288, then 1296. So ang first nga root kay 18. So x of 1 is equals to 18. Then the second root kay duha man ni kabuk. The second root is 6. Okay, ang question is, maglibog ta kung asa may i-answer nato, di ba? Solve for x man at vmax man. So what we need to do here is, syempre, para makaiba ta kung asa ang vmax nilang duha, kaning x sub 1, x sub 2 ba, ato ni i-plug in. I-plug in it nato ang value sa x sub 1 or x sub 2 ngadto sa ato ang original formula sa vmax or original formula sa volume, which is a cubic function. So substitute to the vx. So let's start first with x sub 1 equals to 18. So that is v of x is equal to, that is for x cubed. So for x cubed minus 144x squared, then plus 1296 plus 1296x. Then substitute, this is cube minus 144, then 18 square plus 1296 times 18. The final answer is, at a substitute, that is 4 times 18 cube, then minus 144 times 18 squared plus 1296 times 18. The answer is 0. So 0 ang answer. This one is 0. What type volume? Lisod kayo. Walay volume. So let's try. If x sub 2 is equals to 6, what would happen? So that is v of 6 is equals to 4 times 6 cube minus 144 times 6 squared plus 1296 times 6 Okay, simplifying, that is 4 times 6 cubed minus 144 times 6 squared plus 1296 times 6. So the answer is 3456. So the answer is 3456. So naabay ko ang units, inches. So this one is 3456 cubic inches. So this is our Vmax. Ang 0 cubic inches, di na itong Vmax. Mao na itong Vmin, pinaka-lowest. So therefore, at x is equals to 6, we can attain the maximum volume. So therefore, our final answer is equals to 6 inches ang iyahang height. Tungod kay at 6 inches, dira nato ma-achieve ang maximum volume. So again, if we encountered a problem that is that has a cubic function, so here as you can see, now marin yung student class, we apply differentiation because as what we know, the behavior of a cubic function nasa duha ka mga importante nga mga points. The maximum point wherein mo change ang iyang slope from positive to negative, or mo increase siya then mo decrease, and then the minimum point wherein dira na to ma-experience nga mo from decreasing to increasing. So we apply differentiation. So ito kalimti ito akong steps, simple nga steps pag-derive for cubic function. We're just working on multiplying the exponents and the coefficients, and then also subtracting the exponents. So yung siya class. And then if we're going to verify this, kung ato na siya i-graph ni siya nga kanang kuan, kaya siya cubic function, then ato makita ning mga maximum ug minimum points. So let's graph this. So this is 4x cubed, 4x cubed, then mabalikon 4x cubed minus 144, then 1296 minus 144x squared plus 1296x. So you can see, at i-zoom out na siya. Okay, i-zoom out. Okay, as you notice, kabantay mo, na siya maximum nga point here. Diba? O sa siya may down, then na po yung minimum point, then may up na po siya. So as you can see, the minimum point is 18, matutukuha nga x sub 1, and then 0 yung corresponding nga volume. But whereas kanis yung nga maximum point is we have a value of 6 for our height x, and then a value of our volume is 3,456. So this is the maximum volume bago pa siya mo change of value, kay from increasing to decreasing, then to increasing. So we cannot also choose here mga values here because di naman niya ma-achieve ang condition po sa atong problem. So they are good within the maximum point and the minimum points. Okay, so let's proceed to the next example for quadratic function, cubic function that I mean. So here we have a problem. The growth of a red oak tree is approximated by the function g of t equals to negative 0.003 t cubed plus 0.137 t squared plus 0.458 t minus 0.839, where g is the growth of the tree in feet and t is in years. So mag-start siya, or naa siya kanang domain niya, mag-start from 2 years until 34 years. So the question is, we're going to estimate the age of the tree when it is growing most rapidly, or this is also known as the point of diminishing return. So kung makakuha mo problems ng point of diminishing return, muna siya ang case wherein yung pangitaon ang kung asa ang maximum or critical value. So muna siya ang point of diminishing return. Pangitaon mo ang value sa independent variable if mag-maximum ang value sa imong dependent variable, or dito mag-change from increasing to decreasing. Okay, mao na maximum values for cubic function. So here we're going to write the given data. So the given is the function of the height of the tree. G of t is equals to negative 0.003 t cubed plus 0.137 t squared plus 0.458 t minus 0.839. So this is a cubic function, CF, because the degree is 3. Now, the required, so may required ani. The required here, so ato na ibutangan og domain. The domain is starts from 2 years until 34 years only. The required here is estimate the age of the tree. So that is the t when it is growing most rapidly. So again, for every problem good for a function, na siya goal. The goal here is the age t at at g growing most rapidly man, at g maximum. Kay ang g kay ang growth man na siya sa red oak tree. So pangitaw nimo ang time nga paspas ang tubo sa mga red oak tree. So that is g max. Okay, solution. So since g max, to solve for g max, we are going to find the maximum point of the cubic function g of t. So again, we're writing g of t, that is 0.003 t cubed plus 0.137 t squared plus 0.458 t minus 0.839. So kung natay behaviors ato ang cubic function, it would look like this. Na siya maximum and minimum point. So this is our maximum point. So our y here is the g of t. Then this is the minimum point. So our y, our x is represented by the time t. Now, in order to solve for the maximum value, then we are going to differentiate this one as what we have done from the previous example. So let's differentiate this. So that is the derivative of the function g of t with respect to the time is just equal to the change in the growth over the change in the time, or this is just equal to the slope of our cubic function, which is equal to diri na ang procedure. So again, multiply the coefficient and the coefficient, multiply the coefficient of the term and its corresponding exponent of the variable. So here we have negative 0.003 times 3, and then copy the variable t, and then ang exponent may banan og 1. So the same thing with the second term and the rest of the terms. So 137 multiplied by 2, then t raised to 2 minus 1, then plus 0.458, then t raised to 1 minus 1. And then since ang constant kay wala siya variable, so therefore the derivative of all the constant is 0. So that is minus 0. Again, kung constant siya, ang ihang derivative or differentiation niya is 0. Then simplifying, so we have here 0.003 times 3. The answer is negative 0.009. This one is negative 0.009. T, 3 minus 1 is 2, then plus 0.137 times 2, that is 0.274. 0.274, then this is t, 2 minus 1 is 1, so t na lang, plus here 0.458, then t raised to 1 minus 1 is 0 is 1, so 0.458 na lang. So here, this is now a quadratic function. So quadratic function na siya. So if this is a quadratic function, then we have two values for our t, because at maximum, we can say class na at maximum delta t must be equal to 0. Kaya ang slope man at maximum point is 0, na siya, kaya horizontal man ang line nga mo tangent sa atong curve. So 0 dapat. So therefore we can equate this one to 0. Now this is a quadratic function or quadratic equation. So therefore we can easily find the roots for this one. You can have completing the squares, trial and error, or using the quadratic formula. So quadratic formula na lang ta. Quadratic formula. So we have the value for our T1 equals to, kung na mo yung calculator, so we have negative 0.009 for A, and for B is 0.274, for C is 0.458. So the first time is approximately 32.03. The value for T2, this is in years. The value for T2 is negative 1.59 years. Actually, pwede pud nato ni siya i-recheck kung asa gid ani ang makahatag og maximum nga Gmax, but actually common sense man gud class. If we're going to evaluate the two times here, of course, we are going to reject negative T. Why? Because we don't have negative time. Diba? We don't have negative time. Wa man tay mga negative na time. Ang pag-read na to time pa kay positive man. So therefore, this is the accepted value. Now, kung kuan pa jud ka, di pa ka sigurado nga mao ba na maximum value, then you can substitute both times here. So at T1 is equals to 32.03 years, so that is G of T1 is equals to negative 0.003 times 32.03 cube plus 0.137 times 32.03 squared plus 0.458 times 32.03 minus 0.839. The answer here is they solve negative 0.003 times 32.03 cube plus 0.137 times 32.03 squared plus 0.458 multiplied by 32.03 minus 0.839. The answer is 55.8. So, ang growth there is a rate of 3 at 32 years is 55. Sorry. This one is 55. So, this one is 55.8 feet. Okay, muna siya to ang maximum value for our growth rate, and we can also prove this by plotting the by plotting this cubic function. So using the annual calculator, ato plot, that is negative 0.003 x cube, then plus balik ta ang given x cube plus 0.137 plus 0.137 x squared, sunod plus 0.458 na 839 ang last, 458,839. So plus 0.458 x minus 0.839. So kung nyo makita, nara. Okay, ito zoom out. So, see? Naa siya maximum o na po siya minimum. So, checking the maximum class, nara. That is 32.03. So, ito nakuha dito, approximation naman eh. And then, the maximum value for the growth rate or the growth is 55.8 feet. So, kato kitaon sa atong nakuha nga answer, that is 55.8 approximately. So, therefore, correcta because ang T2 nga negative 1.59 years, if we are looking that one at the graph, nasa diri. So, see? This one is the negative 1.589. So, ang growth rate niya kay, the growth rate is negative 1.209. So, asa na siya? unsa man kung imo na siya visualize in real life, wala may kahoy nga ang height kay negative, siguro tuwa na sa ilawom basig gamot na. So therefore automatic nga i-reject din nato ang negative nga answer for the time. Okay, let's proceed to the next problem. So the next one is an application for division of polynomials. So here we are given a problem. The volume of a rectangular solid is given by the polynomial 3x to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 33x squared plus 54x. The length of the solid is given by 3x and the width is given by x minus 2. Find the height h of the solid. Okay, so we write first the given. So the given is the volume of the rectangular solid. So the V rectangle is 3x to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 33x squared plus 54x. Then we have the length, so L is equals to 3x, so a function of x gyapon. Then the width W is equals to x minus 2. So if we're going to illustrate this one, a rectangular solid is nga ni siya form. So naatay length, that is 3x, and then we have width of x minus 2, and then we're going to find the height h in terms of x. Okay, required here, required is h. Okay, the height of the rectangular solid. Solution. So para di ka maratol ani, so isuwat sa unsay formula sa volume sa rectangle. So para makarelate sa length, sa width ug sa height. So volume of the rectangle is just equal to the length times the width multiplied by the height. Okay, if we're going to divide both sides by the length, so what we get is W times the height. So V rectangle all over the length. So whatever the answer here, class, is ato na pod siya divide by W. So divide by W. So therefore, we can now get the final answer for our H. For me, class, I will not directly say that H is equals to the V of the rectangle divided by the length and the height. I mean the length and the width, since this is I mean the given is a polynomial function, so we cannot do that easily. Although I mean okay lang numbers pwede ra pod, but ako lang gi-visualize nga ni, meaning that we need to divide first the volume and the length, and then whatever the answer ato na pod i-divide sa W. Okay, ato na divide sa W so that we can get the H. So dividing the volume of the rectangle by the length. Okay, in dividing that one, so consider that the V rectangle is our dividend. Okay, the dividend is equal to, that is 3x to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 33x squared plus 54x plus 0. So ato lang i-kompleto siya. If nagay mga kuwang nga mga terms, ato na buta og 0. And then our divisor is our L. This is our divisor. That is 3x. Okay, sorry. Napindot. So ato na erase. Okay, our divisor is our length, which is 3x. So that is 3x. And then, since we're going to use synthetic division, so we are going to equate our divisor to 0. Okay, then divide both sides by 3. Now our x is equals to 0. So mana tong i-plug in sa ato ang synthetic division. So in synthetic division, muna siya ang buhaton, then write first the constant, that is the coefficients, 3, negative 3, negative 33, positive 54, then 0. Yeah, plus, nyabutan mo diri kay 0. Okay, so proceed. So bring down 3, 3 times 0 is 0, bring down negative 3, 3 times 0 is 0, bring down negative 33, negative 33 times 0 is 0, bring down 54, 54 times 0 is 0, then 0 plus 0 is 0, of course. So therefore, mo na yung atong answer. Since wala tayong remainders, therefore, mo na yung answer sa atong pag-divide using synthetic division. Now, if we're going to convert this back into an expression, so ang variable for 3, the leading term is may mo na siya x cubed. Tungod kay x to the 4th man siya, minusan sa degree sa ato ang divisor, so 3x cubed na siya. Then minus 3x squared minus 33x plus 54. Okay, so manay answer sa ato ang kaning nasa circle. So the next thing is we're going to divide that one by the w. So ikaduha kay divide v rec all over L by W. Okay. Using synthetic division again. So, unsa gud ang v rec over L? That is 3x cubed minus 3x squared minus 33x plus 54. Now, our W is equal to, kailangan to siya. So, itong given it x minus 2. This would now be our divisor. So, sa synthetic division, ang bottom sa divisor is equate to 0 and then solve for x. So, x minus 2 is equals to 0. That is x is equals to 2. So, therefore, sa synthetic division, isuwat natin ang mga coefficients. So, we have 3, negative 33, and then 54. So, what diri? 2. And then, do the operation. So, bring down 3 multiplied by 2, that is 6. I-add, that is negative 3 multiplied by 2, that is negative 6. Add, we have negative 39. Right? Sakto ba? 6. 2 times is negative 6. Okay, sakto. And then, negative 33 was negative 6, that is negative 39. Then negative 39 times 2, that is 78. Negative 78, so that is here, put it here, negative 78. Then, i-add nimo 54 minus 78, the answer is negative 24. So, negative 24. So, we have a remainder here. So, therefore, if we're going to convert this, so kung atong guna siya i-convert into an expression, so, since ang atong dividend kay in cube, so, ang answer na kay in square na, so that is 3x squared minus 3x minus 39 plus the remainder of negative 24 i-over na nimo sa divisor, that is x minus 2. So therefore our height pala is just equal to 3x squared minus 3x minus 39 plus ang minus di ay kay tungod ang remainder kay negative man, that is minus 24 all over x minus 2. So therefore this is the equation or the function for the height of this rectangular solid. So na siya remainder, unlike sa pag divide na to ganyan sa length, wala siya remainder. So wala siya, more niya ang step na yung buhatan. So you can do that because at the in dividing a number, you can it is an associative property. So meaning pwede nyo mao nag-divide si length kaysa ni width, or si width maguna kaysa ni length. Anyways, ang answer kay the same ra gid na gihapon. Okay, if walay pangutana or walay kuan, proceed ta. Okay, so we are now on the application for irrational functions. Again, for irrational function, that is of the form nx all over dx. So meaning mga functions nga nag-involve og mga fraction or function in fraction form. So here we have a cost and benefit model. So a utility company daw burns coal to produce electricity. So the cost C in dollars of removing P% of the smokestack pollutants is given by this function C is equals to 80,000 P all over 100 minus P. So we're in the domain for our percentage of pollutants is from 0 to 100. Unang buhaton is we're going to sketch the graph of the function. So alam na ba natin is letter A. Sketch C of P is equals to 80,000 P all over 100 minus P. Actually, if we are going to sketch this one manually, then we're going to use the characteristic of irrational function. So I hope nagtuon na mo or nakita na mo sa video for module 7 lesson 2 kay ako gi-include ganito on how to graph kanang rational functions. So ang first natong button is we're going to look for the x-intercept. Okay, dira man moigo ang kanang rational function sa x-axis. So at x-intercept, we're going to equate y is equals to 0. Okay, when y is equals to 0, so that is 0 is equals to assuming ang cost kay equivalent to y, then ang percent pollutants is the x. So manang ako lang gitawag siya nga x-intercept, or you can also have p-intercept. So since naana doon mo sa mga x and y, din nato lang gilet. So here we have 0 equals 80,000 P all over 100 minus P. Cross multiply, we have 80,000 P is equals to 0. So therefore P here is equals to 0. So therefore the x-intercept is 0. Next is y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x is equals to 0. Now y is equals to 80,000 multiplied by p, which is x, equal to 0. So 100 minus 0. So automatic, this will be 0. So therefore, both the x and y-intercept meet at the origin. Kay 0, 0 man sila. Okay, so kanina nga rational function, dako ang probabilidad nga, niigo gid sila sa origin. Another thing is we are going to find the vertical asymptote. So again, sa to pagka sa vertical asymptote for irrational function. So we're just simplify first the rational function. So this one 80,000 P all over 100 minus P. So since 80,000 P cannot be simplified further, and also 100 minus P, so therefore more na siya ang simplified form. And then after that, kung na-simplified na siya, then equate the denominator to 0 and solve for the value of P. So that is dx equals to 0. That is 100 minus P equals 0. Solve for P, so we can transpose P on the other side so that we can have P is equals to 100. So that value would serve as the vertical asymptote. So meaning, the equation of our vertical asymptote in terms of P is P minus 100. Or in terms of X, that is X minus 100 sa atong pag-graph unya pohon sa online. Okay. So, mano siya ang atong vertical asymptote. How about our horizontal asymptote? horizontal asymptote. Okay, our horizontal asymptote is we're going to look first the degree of the numerator. So what is the degree of our numerator? So from our given, that is 800p, that is of a first degree. How about the degree of the variable in the denominator? That is still 1. So here we can say that n is equals to m because 1 is equals to 1. So, na naman ta itong mga conditions nga if ever gali mag-equal ang ilahang exponent, the value of the horizontal asymptote HA is just the leading coefficient sa numerator all over the leading coefficient in the denominator. So here, what is the leading coefficient in the numerator? That is 80,000, right? Kaya siya may tapad ni P. This one is 80,000. And then divided by the leading coefficient on the denominator. So that is negative 1. Kaya mo may tapad ni P. So that is negative 1. So therefore, our horizontal asymptote is negative 80,000. Kung aton siya i-represent as a line, in terms of C, kay C man ang cost. Denoted as C, so that is C plus 80,000. Muna siya ayahang kanang equation. Or equal sign din siya. That's not C. The same po dariha. Ang the equation is P equals 100 na gyud. So that is P equals 100. Ang kaniday nato ibutang dapat ani supposedly palita malipat kani siya is the value of our vertical asymptote. That is VA. And in terms of representing it as a line, so P equals 100, or in terms of X equals to 100. The same po ani C equals negative 80,000. Muna siya ang line, ang vertical asymptote nga line. C is equals to negative 80,000, or in terms of Y, that is Y is equals to negative 80,000. So muna itong mga horizontal asymptotes and vertical asymptotes. The next one is ang ikalima characteristics para mag-graph nato ang rational function is, di ba? Katong gingon nga test value. Okay, test value. Ang test value magdepend siya sa domain sa ato ang rational function. So unsa may domain nato diri? Di ba we only have one restriction sa ato ang domain. We're in our P, di ba? Ingon siya ang P kay from 0 naman daw ko, no? So naam data diri sa domain, gilista naman. Ang domain is from 0 less than or equal to P less than or equal to 100. Okay? I mean, kuhanday. Less than na kay ano, di mag-equal ang 100 tungod kay ang value nga 100 kay mo na ang vertical asymptote. So mandi siya mo tama dira. Okay. So at 0, pila man kay value sa atong y? At 0, at p equals 0, our c is equals to 0, di ba? Kaya naman sa atong x and y intercepts. So mana siya. However, at p between 0 and 100, let's say I have p 50, what is the value of our c? C is equals to 80,000 times 50 all over 100 minus 50. So the cost here is 80,000 times 50 divided by 100 minus 50. So the answer is 80,000 na gyapon. This one is 80,000. I think in pesos, so making a dollar good, so in pesos. Okay, so mauna siya. So therefore, we can say that the answer is positive. Okay, the answer is positive. So how are we going to graph this? So mag-draw ka, and then imo indicate pud ang vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote is at x equals to 100, so or p. This is P and C. So P is the x-axis, C is the y-axis. Let's say nadri ang 100. So nadri, idrawin nimo hidden line ang vertical asymptote.
that is x or p equals 100. Okay, so meaning dili mo touch ang ato ang rational function na. Next is ang horizontal asymptote. Ang horizontal asymptote baling layo na diri nga part. Pinakaubos na gid diri. Actually kano siya layo na siya because c here is equals to negative 80,000. So layo na kay ang vertical horizontal asymptote. And then ato ra mong boundary is from 0 ra sa origin padong sa 100 ug wa kaabot sa 100. So therefore if we're going to graph our rational function, it would look like this. Mo intersect siya sa 0 since mo na siyang x and y intercept. Then mo increase siya kay positive siya, and then wala siya. Musubay na siya ni, di siya mo meet kay asymptotic man siya. So therefore that is the graph of our rational function at a domain from 0 and then less than 100. Now atin siya i-prove by graphing it online. In our online graphing calculator, so kana siya ati butang, we have 80,000 x divided by 100 minus x, and we can set some points ata. Okay, kani siya pwede mo siguro mo nga 0 less than, okay, di lang na to live butang di sa kuan. So kato ni kita on. So here ato kita ka sa ato pwede zoom out. As you've noticed class naara, as you've noticed asymptotic siya ani nga line. So see ang graduation na to kay 500 and 1,000, so therefore somewhere here in the 100. So if I add some function, let's say x equals to 100, you will notice nga nara na asymptotic siya ani nga 100, meaning di siya mo touch. So ang ato rang domain mo gud nga gihatag sa problem is from 0, so diri from 0 to 100. So ana ra mo ra to itong drawing ganiha. Ang katong nakuha nga vertical asymptote nga kanang negative 80,000, so atong mag-graph tag lahi or magdagdag tag graph nga y is equals to negative 80,000, mara siya. Kita ninyo? Mo na siya. So sakto tudto ato nakuha nga kanang horizontal asymptote nga negative 80,000. Okay? So di na pud na makita sa sketch kay out of scope na siya kay ang range atong x kay diri naman diri padong 100. Okay, so I hope niyo nakuha. So mo na siya ato ang rational function. Okay, proceed ta sa letter B. So ato sa ni erase ning answer for letter A kay para maka suwat patag kaan space ato ang answer for letter B. Okay, ang sa letter B na siya gipangita. Yang gipangita kay for letter B, ingan siya, you are a member. What if you are a member of a state legislature considering a law that would require utility companies to remove 90% of their pollutants from their smokestack emissions? So the current law requires 85% removal. How much additional cost would the utility company incur as a result of the new law? So ang picture ani is that from the previous nga law, ang gi-required ra sa government is you have P of 90%. So or mag-remove ka, dili ingon nga nakay pollutant nga 90%. Dapat mag-remove ka og 90% sa pollutants. So di ba, ang giingon man nga model kay pilay cost sa pag-remove ana. So therefore, sa previous nga law, mo na ato ang cost. Okay? But the current law is kuan nag-require siya og 85% removal. Okay? So 95% removal. How much additional cost would the utility company incur as a result of the new law? So the current law is na siya removal, mag-require siya removal nga 85%. So pila ka ang kuan ani, ang cost. Okay, in order to do that, syempre ato kuhaon ang cost from the previous law. So ang cost ani, to do that, syempre kuan ani siya, substitution. So we have C, the cost, is equals to 80,000 times the percentage. So the cost here at P is equals to 90%. So 80,000 P all over 100 minus P, that is 80,000 times 90 all over 100 minus 90. So the answer here is 80,000 minus 90 divided by 1,000 minus 90. The answer is 720,000. So cost man ni assume natang in peso ni. So that is 720,000 pesos. Mo na siya sa previous law. In the current law, ang cost na po itong pangitaon na niya at P is equals to 85%. So plug ra dayon, substitute ra, that is 80,000 multiplied by 85 divided by 100 minus 85, that is equal to, so atong kuanon, this is 85, then this is 85. The answer is 453. In peso din siya. So assume natang in peso, that is 453,333.33 kanang pesos. So therefore, yung gingon I mean kuan day patak-atagkuan. Actually, this is not the previous law. Mo ni ang imong bag-o day. Sorry class. This is the new law. Okay, new law kay kiingom day diri nga member daw ka sa state legislature. Unya nagplano man day mo. So inyong plano kay increasean ang percentage removal sa smokestack nga pollutants. So ang new law kay 7,200 na. Sa current law ra kay 85% naman mo tong 453,000 na. So pilay inyong additional cost niini. So the additional cost is just equal to the new cost minus the current, diba? The current cost, that is equal to, the new cost is 720,000 minus the current cost is 453,333.33. So the resulting answer is 720,000 minus 453,333.33. The answer is 266,000. So that is 266,666.67. So mo na ang ato ang additional costs sa pagtangtang sa smokestack pollutants kung imo increase ang percentage sa kuan sa balaod from 85% to 90%. So mo na siya dagdag na cost sa kumpanya. Okay, so I think that is the end of my discussion for Module 7, Lesson 3. Okay, I think napaday last. Okay, sorry, so napay last. Still for kanang kuan gyapon siya rational function. So mo na siya ang last day. So finding the minimum area. So here we have a rectangular page is designed to contain 48 square inch of print. So sa figure nani siya nato makita area. Kani siya. So kanina nakasuwat dapat ang printable area should be 48 square inch. Then the margins at the top and the bottom of the page are 1 inch deep. So pakita diri 1 inch deep sa top, sa bottom is 1 inch. Then the margins on both sides are 1.5 and 1.5. What should be the dimension of the page so that the least amount of paper is used? Dapat gamay ra nga papel ang ato ang magamit. So unsa ato buhaton niini? Okay, so we all know that the given sa ta. Given, let's say area, the printable area is equals to 48 in square. Then the other given kay gi suwat na pod sa figure. So required here is we're going to solve for the dimension of the printable area x and y. Muna siya mga dimension. At again, nagi tayo mga goal niini for every kanang problem nga nagdeal og mga functions. So ang goal is to have at least amount of paper used. So pasabot ana. So meaning ang area sa atong gigabit nga papel should be maximum. That is the area of the paper that is area of the bond paper AB. So kani siya kay area ni siya area of the print. Kani siya kay area of the paper. Okay, AB should be minimum. Meaning gamay ra atong magamit syempre kay for economical purposes dapat mas maayo nga daghang kag print at a small area. Efficient na siya or effective. So solution, again, mag-formulate na po tag mga equation sa kaning printing area in terms of the x and y and also the area of the paper para makakuha ta og kanang function. So we all know that it was stated there that the printing area is just equal to the product of our dimensions x and y, and we'll know that the area of the print is 48 square inch, so 48 is equals to x, y, or we can say that x is equals to 48 over y. So this is our equation 1. Then nabutegingan diri nga ang second condition is to have a least amount of paper in used. So unsa day area sa ato ang papel di ay? So area of the paper AB is just equal to unsam ni siya? Unsa dimension niya? Dimension niya is equals to x plus twice the margin, di ba? Pila may margin in all? Ang 1 side is 1.5, so that is 1.5 times 2. 1.5 times 2 is equals to 3 inches na siya. So ang dimension day sa papel kay x plus 3 inches, then iyang length kay y plus twice the margin, that is 1 inch, so 2 inch, so that is y plus 2. So therefore mo na ato ang formula sa atong area sa paper. So therefore that is y plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. This is our equation 2. Since naman tayo value sa x in terms of y, so ato na siya i-plug in directly sa equation 2. So we now have y plus 2 multiplied by 48 all over y plus 3. Then pwede po tayo ato na i-combine. So we have y, then this is 48 plus 3y. So combining, so we now have y plus 2 multiplied by 48 plus 3y all over y. So this is a rational function in terms of y. So this is AB of y niya. AB of y. AB of y is equals to y plus 2 times 48 plus 3y all over y. So here we have irrational function. Atong buhaton is how are we going to get the maximum value of our AB? So we need to have AB maximum. Okay class, sa rational function, AB minimum din siya, minimum. AB should be minimum. asam ta na makakuha. Diba sa atong rational function, of course, naman tayo behavior sa to graph. So, I think, kani siya, maybe naging ano ni siya, we don't know, ana lang siya. So, therefore, basically, basin kaning tip dire, lower tip mo ng minimum niya. Di po tayo maka-minimum sa negative side. Why? Because we don't have a negative area in real life. Di man tayo niya, the area is negative 30 square inch. Di man na siya pwede. So, naragita sa positive side sa atong y. So, assuming that our area of the paper is our y-axis, is AB. And then, the x-axis is our y, which is the width of our printable area. So, kaya siya, dito kagamit sa atong technique sa katong cubic function niya, kanang kuan. We find the derivative. Di po ta kagamit sa quadratic nga style nga i-find na to ang vertex. Because ang rational function mo good is complicated siya, dagan siya mga forma. So, ang pamaagi na to is we're going to formulate a table of values. So, man siya long og manual nga pamaagi. Very long ang manual nga pamaagi. So, ato ilista si AB. So, since si AB ka dependent, so mag-start ni Y. Then, this is AB. Let's try natay value sa Y from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lang. So, dira lang. Okay, para ato makita kung sa ihang kanang minimum nga value. Okay, manual man siya kay mag-list naman tayo even if we get the characteristics of our rational function, makuha naman gatunga kay kuha naman X-intercept para Y-intercept, etc. So, itong button ani, ato i-plug in yung values ng atong giset sa Y, which is 1, tapos 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth. So, start sa 1. That is 2 plus 1 is 3, multiplied by 48 plus 3, divided by 1. The answer is 153. So, 153. How about for 2? That is 4 times 48 plus 3 times 2 is 6. Divide by 2. The answer is 108. Kung 3 na pod, 3 plus 2 is 5. 48 plus 9 divided by 3, the answer is 95. For 4, we have 4 plus 2 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. Times 48 plus 4 times 3 is 12. Divided by 4, the answer is 90. Then for 5 plus 2 is 7 times 48 plus 3 times 5 is 15 divided by 5, the answer is 88.2. Then for 6, that is 6 plus 2 is 8 times 48 plus 3 times 6 is 18 divided by 6, the answer is 88. For 7, we have 7 plus 2 is 9 times 48 plus 7 times 3, 21 divided by 7, the answer is 88.71. This is 88.71. So, inyo nabantayan, gikan siya 88.2 niya, may 88 siya niya. May 88.71 na siya. Diba? Then, pag 8 na pod, pag 8, so, that is 8 plus 2 is 10 times 48 plus 8 times 3, 24 divided by 8. The answer is 90. So, inyo na nakita class. Somewhere between 5 and 6 natay minimum nga area sa ato ang paper, right? Or dire. Oo, somewhere here. Or, I think pwede na ang 5. Or di not 5 and 6, that is around 5 and kuan. Dire. Around 5 to 6. Oh, around dire. Na dire ang ato ang minimum area, around 5 and 6. So maybe up to kuan 1 decimal places ato pa na siya i-amplify. So let's say mag-try na pud ta mga decimal points. Let's say up to kuan lang ta. Up to 1 decimal place. Let's say mag-try tag 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6. Try para mas accurate pud ta up to 1 decimal place. So for 5.1, that is 5.1 plus 2 times 48 plus 3 times 5.1 divided by 5.1. The answer is 88.12. 88.12. How about 5.2? So 5.2, 48 times 3 times 5. 5.2 divided by 5.2. The answer is 88.06. So 88.06. And then how about 5.4? So I think mugamay pa siya pa ng 88. So I think wala siguro ilain. Try. Let's say mag-una ta sa 5.5. So kita daw basig na i-changes. 5.5. The answer is 87.95. Okay, napaday mas mababa pa. 87.95. Try na tag 5.4 balik. Pagkitaon. So ni 5.4 kay 87.97. So 87.97. So mas anam siya baba. So hatutan ni 5.7 daw. Ni 5.7 na siya 87.94. 87.94. So ni 5.7 migamay pagid siya. 87.94. How about 5.9? Ni 5.9 nasa dyan 87.97. So 87.97 himbalik, diba? Himbalik og taas. So let's try 5.8. Basig mo gamay pa si 5.8 kaysa ni 5.7. So 5.8. The answer here in my calculator is 87.95. 87.95. Therefore, kani may pinaka gamay og area. So we have here the area of the minimum area of the paper is equals to approximately siya 87.94 base ato ang manual calculation, that is square inch, and then the corresponding dimension of y is approximately 5.7 inch. Now from equation 1 we have a relationship that is x equals to 48 all over y, that is 48 divided by 5.7. So that is 48 divided by 5.7, that is equal to 8.42. So that is 8.42 inches. So na tayo duha, x and y. ang ipangita to no, what should be the dimension of the page so that the least amount of paper is used. So since dimension man sa page, so mo na siya, dimension of the page is ang answer, ang dimension sa page kung asa ta mag-print is 5.7 inches by 8.42 inches. Okay? Ato na napangitaan class by graphing this one manually. I mean, by graphing this one online. So here, ito na erase. So we have here x plus 2 times 48 plus 3 times x all over x. So ang sign hitabo, pwede po natin siya i-kuan iso nga mo fit. So see, ingani ang forma niya. Then asa ito makitaan ang iyahang kuan minimum value. So ang minimum value ni is kani siya diri nga curve kanina ra, that is 5.657 dahil kay natay 87.94 ato nakuha kay 5.7. So okay na, kay approximation naman, so sakto ta kay mo yung minimum value. Dito pwede ka minimum value ariha kay mag-negative na ang y negative nga dimension, so kanila gid. So for mo ang minimum kay kung mudagan patangad to, so diba ni 6 na, so mara gid ang minimum class mga to pud ta mudako na pud siya. So therefore mara gini mo yung minimum value sa atong dimension for y to have a small amount of area for our paper, which is 87.941 approximately. Okay, so ano siya class, therefore kita ang behavior sa kano rational function, so maglaylay gina siya depende sa given nga rational function. So basically sa last natong example medyo taas gid iha kan taas iya solution, since we create a table and then ato gi-run ato gi-plug in tag sa atong mga test values so that we can see kung asa ang minimum nga area malocated. Okay, I think that is the end of my discussion. So thank you and see you next time.